Okay, that's a problem. Let's get this thing into shape, shall we? Now, here's the thing. You guys saw in the previous video how not great these edges are. So I'm gonna try to just smooth it over a bit and make it a little sharper. I don't want to do it hair popping sharp because I don't buy into that. So as I said, I'm just gonna try to take this and round it down, sort of convex it a bit. And then I'll worry about actually sharpening it up. Now, doing it this way with an axe is a whole lot different than with a knife because you got to make sure you don't have anything for the handle to bang into because you don't want to lose control of it. And I may actually give up on the holder and just do it like Ben Orford does. And another thing is, I don't want to come at it at too flat an angle because I don't want to be scratching up all this beauty right there, eh? I don't want to be scratching it up. Oh, I got upside down for you. So I have to be careful about how oblique versus gradual I come in here. I almost feel like I should go straight to sandpaper on this, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm going to give up on the holder and I'm going to do it the way I used to. It's just the comfort value is higher that way. Now, what I'm doing is I'm starting at a very gradual angle and then I'm sort of moving it like this just to try and keep the convex going, you know, because I'm trying to solve an almost, I mean, it's not a Scandi grind, but it you know, it's like they just took a grinder, a flat, you know, and I'm trying to fix that because that would make a big difference in how well this little axe cuts. I'm not worried about making it really, really sharp just yet. And as those of you who know me well know, I'm not going to do a shaving sharp edge on this thing. See, I'm sort of, it's coming down a bit. One small problem with this stone I have is that it's a 1000 4000, so I'm not grinding nearly as quick as I would love to be. But it's slowly but surely. And I'm not going to shoot the entire process and have you guys watch an hour of me doing this, okay? It's already looking a lot better, actually. Well, I mean, I've got a long ways to go, right? But it looks better. See that? Right now I've put the axe down on the table. I'm sort of propping it up with one hand and going at it with the stone. I'm getting there. Slowly but surely. Man, what I wouldn't give for a 400 grit right about now. What I may have to do is just get it in better shape, and then as I sharpen it into the future, I'll just finish correcting the the weird grind. Just a little too gerbery for my liking, you know what I'm saying? Got a nice slurry building up here. Now, for those of you who don't do a lot of sharpening, I use a combination of different strokes. This is like a circular stroke that I use a lot. You'll see that a lot of guys use that. That's the Ben Orford method for sure, because what you're doing is the more often you can get the lines that you're leaving, the scratches, to crisscross and start to cancel each other out, the faster you're sharpening the blade or whatever you're sharpening. So that's why the circular is good. Sometimes I just do this to sort of smooth across and follow the contour of what I'm sharpening. And sometimes I'll just go like a straight up cross hatch. Put that in the water. Let's see where we're getting with this. This is my third, the third of the 4 bevels. I still got some work to do there. Sorry if I'm going in and out of focus there, guys. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but there you go. I've been trying to kind of, let's see if I can flip it around. It's more, I've been trying to, like you can see here, I've been grinding further back than over here. I've been trying to do like the typical, well, not so typical anymore, but the traditional double bit thang, where one side is a narrower this way and the other one is more sort of for grubbing and roots and stuff. Am I getting into focus here? Hell no. There we go. But with a 1,000, 4,000 stone, it's too much work. So I'm just going to go to the 4,000 side and then to the sandpaper. And just sort of clean it up and get it nice and sharp. I think that's all I should really be hoping for tonight. Now, as I switch over to the 4,000 side, before I get started, I would just like to do a shout out. Okay, this shout out goes to a channel that I've just discovered, just like 2 or 3 days ago. It's called Tactical Bushcraft Life and More. Currently at 566 subscribers. In fact, I believe I was the 566th. Some good stuff. It's not like only bushcraft. There's a whole bunch of things. And what's interesting is that some of it is he's just trying stuff. Here's one where I'm trying my new GoPro or my new drone, or this is my first time lapse or whatever. And some of it's about like an inflatable sleeping pad or knives. There's some knives and stuff. And so I'm interested to see where he takes his channel, because he's still kind of at the beginning of his journey, but there's some good stuff there already. So go give him a look. If you do decide to visit him, tell him I sent you. If you decide to sub, then that's fabulous. If not, as I always say, you know, at least go and take a look. Thanks for watching the shout out segment. I almost feel that 1,000 to 4,000 is too much of a jump. Like there should be a 1,000 to 2,500, and then maybe a second stone of like 3,000 to 6,000 or something. Because 4,000 is not really a sharpening grit. It's a polishing grit. Going from 1,000 straight to a polishing grit seems like too big a jump to me. Like big enough that I may actually just go to sandpaper on this. I've got here is a mouse pad upside down. I'm going to drop it back a bit to 600. Okay. Now, what the mouse pad does is it helps maintain the convex. Now, on sandpaper, I'm not doing so much of this, just because I find that I rip it. Like on this side of that little swirl, I've gone through a lot of sandpaper that way, guys. Yeah, you see, it's weird because, like, oops, even though this is a lower grit than the stone, it's creating finer scratches. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. That's already better. Hold on. Can I maybe zoom us in a bit here? Look at the difference between my 1,000 grit stone and my 600 grit paper. I don't get it, man. But with that said, I would not have tried to correct that grind with sandpaper and a mouse pad. That would be sheer foolishness. Oh, it's nice. It's turning out nice. You know what I'm saying? So, I've taken it up to 3,000 grit with the wet and dry sandpaper. And it's a much, much better, more gradual convex on that now. I'm going to take it to the strop, just sort of, you know, do a little last touch up and see where we are. It's a funny thing with this sandpaper. What's it called? Electro-coated abrasive paper. Let me just dry off the 3000 here so you can see the back. This stuff, I don't know if you guys know this at all. Hold on. There we go. Like as I get higher and higher, it gets glossier and glossier, and then as I hit the 3000, it drops the gloss right back. See, like that's not as good. So I don't know what's up with that. But I don't usually go that high. Maybe there's something with the 3000. Maybe you just got to keep doing it or something. I don't know. If any of you guys go up to 3000 grit or more, let me know if there's a trick to it. In the meantime, I'm going to give this like a good 50 strops. 50 good. I'm going to give this a good 50 strokes on the strop and see where we are. Sometimes what I like to do is just with the strop, just do the flats. So here's what I got. Okay. That's not in focus. There we go. So there we are. You see, like the transition to the edge of the bit is no longer that like ugly flat thing. The grinds were not equal at all. Like they were thicker up here than down here on all four. I tried to fix that up as much as I could. It ain't perfect yet. This is the beginning of a long process, I think. But just by touching it, I can tell you it's already a much more capable axe than it was when I bought it. Now, here's the thing. This is a $54 US axe plus shipping, okay? This is not the kind of axe that I would be afraid to mess with the angles or anything, because I wouldn't want to wreck a really expensive axe, okay? This is the kind of price range at which you buy an axe just to play with and, you know, build up your sharpening skills or whatever, so you're not wrecking your, you know, vintage Norland or something. So what I am definitely into the idea of, we're gonna get into focus, yeah, of making the two grinds different angles. You know, the way they used to do it when people knew how to make things. Aside from that, I'm just gonna beat this thing up, see what it can do now that that's been fixed. It's a really handy size. Yeah. So I'm gonna bring it camping with my daughter at the end of this month, and we're gonna put it through its paces, and we'll see just how improved this axe is now that I've gone and sharpened it all up. So that's that for this episode. As I always say, if you like what I'm doing, then please get the conversation started down below. What I'd like to know this week is, when you're sharpening an axe, do you start with a file? Do you start with a stone? Do you go straight to sandpaper? Also, do you sharpen up your axe all the time so that all you're ever doing is using the fine side of the stone, or do you wait until you've used it a bunch and you have to really grind at it? Aside from that, please share this video. It really helps me when you do that. If you're not subscribed, then please do subscribe. If you are subscribed, then hit that little bell and leave me a smiley thumb. If you don't like what I'm doing, leave me a frowny thumb. Thanks for watching, guys.